Hello my darling, it's Chanel, and today we're doing reading recommendations. So I thought I'd do another one because the jar is full, and the comment I made last time, which was there are probably books in this I will never get to, did make me sad. It did make me sad, and I thought maybe I might double up on this segment each month just so I can get to them. But I am always continually adding books people recommend or books I see booktubers recommend, so I don't know if that will ever happen. I guess that by probability there will be books in here that I just don't pick that have been in here the whole time. But I digress, I'm rambling on. I wanted to do another mini one, so I'm not going to choose 4 books. I might just choose 2 and make this a little mini reading vlog. So without much further ado, let's get selecting. I always do a really weird face, so I'm trying not to pull a really stupid face picking. You know, the beauty of editing when you get to stare at your mug the whole time. So you eat first, my loves. And now I shall. What did I get? Youth Juice by E.K. Sathu, and this was recommended by Olivia Huber 2826. I'm just going to quickly look it up. I'm pretty sure that is a horror book about beauty. I think maybe reminiscent of Rouge by Mona Awad, but let's have a look. So, oh, it's got a 3.17. That's low, but thanks to the unmothers, I now no longer really give much weight unless it's lower than a 3. Look, if a book has an average rating of less than 3 on Goodreads, that is alarm bells, because I feel like generally most readers rate a lot more generously than I do. But let's have a look. So it says American Psycho meets The Devil Wears Prada, and it is a horror. So it's kind of sci-fi, thriller, fiction. But all right, we'll give that one a go, and let's pick another one. Do I go for one on the top or the bottom? I've picked it now. Let's see how many pages is Youth Juice. 288, so not a huge amount. So if I get a short book, maybe I can do a third one. So you have a look. Smoke Gets in Your Eyes by Caitlin Doughty. This was seen on Olivia's Catastrophe. She's fantastic. I recommend you go and watch her channel, Smoke Gets in Your Eyes. I wonder how long this is. Is this possibly a poetry book? Kind of sounds like that, but maybe not. Smoke Gets in Your Eyes. Oh, it's a nonfic. And Other Lessons from the Crematory by Caitlin Doughty. So 4.22, fantastic rating, 254 pages. You know what? I'm going to do one more. I'm going to do one more because they're both under 300. So I've got nonfic, I've got a horror. Let's go to the bottom. We've got a bigger boy. Okay, you see first. I will try and improve my writing in the future. I've just scribbled all these down. What is this? This Wound Full of Fish by Lorena Salazar, recommended by Kelly Rosen 1. This Wound Full of Fish. Okay, could not remember at all what this was about. It's got a 4.32, which is quite high. This is a translated book. I think it is Latin American litfic. So it's translated by Annie McDermott, and it's set in the Colombian jungle. Perhaps a bit heavy, but do I want to do another one? Okay, so I have decided I'm going to do another one. I've got time. It's school holidays, and you know, what else am I going to do? What else am I going to do? It's not like I'm going to go on a date or something. All right, so we've got one here. And okay, I can tell it's upside down. So you first. And now me. What did I get? Henry and June, A Nine Nin by Marlena Teresa, who has a YouTube channel, but she also loves books. Oh, one fell out. Back you go. I feel like this is a litfic. It's a 9 in. I've tried one a 9 in, which was The Little Birds, I think it was called. And it was meant to be erotica, but it was it was not my kind of erotica, you know. A 9 in, Henry and June. I have a feeling this is about real life people and their affair, if I'm not mistaken. But like I said, I don't quite remember. Okay, here we go. Henry and June. So it's got a 3.93, which is decent. And it says it's taken from the journals of a 9 in. Oh, it's actually kind of a memoir, so to speak. It's about her and a couple, and it's Henry Miller. Okay, so Henry Miller is a famous author, so she falls in love with Henry Miller and his wife June. Oh, we've got a throuple happening. Oak, Jesus and I, Saucy Minx. Okay, yeah, it's a biography memoir. Okay, so we've got a memoir. We have a nonfic about what I'm assuming is death, because Olivia and I, we both like things about death and grief. We have Wound Full of Fish, which is a litfic. translated, and then a horror, Youth Juice. So those are my 4 for this reading vlog. I'm going to put my jar away. But today my hair is so frizzy. I am going out with V and her friend. Indy's getting dropped off at my mum's house. So thank you, Mum, for babysitting. You're a legend. Because we're doing a trip to the city, to Melbourne Central, which is the massive like kind of shopping mall in the city. And Indy, God bless her, is like, no, thank you. I don't want to be bussing in. I don't want to be walking around. She's not a shopper. I'm not a shopper. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to subject you to it. I'm probably just going to hole up in a cafe in the center while the girls walk around and possibly read some books. I might go browsing, but I don't like buying stuff, guys. I don't like parting with my money unless it's, like I said, a well-informed decision, something I've been ruminating on a long time. I'm certain I'm not going to have buyer's remorse. Yeah, I don't like spontaneous shopping things, but I know there is that little store that sells artisanal goods made by people. I might just go have a look and hopefully not purchase. There are obviously bookstores I could peruse as well. Oh, it's very dangerous for me, but that's on the agenda. So I will read on the bus and at the cafe. I think I'm going to start, well, it depends on what I can get immediately. I still need to read a book from the last reading blog you would have seen, which is my mood reading. So I've got to finish the Prince's, Bloodborne, whatever it was called, first. And then I can go on to something else, but I do have to go hit my library up now and see what's physical, e or audio, and loan them out. But if I could pick, if they're all available at the same time, what would I want to pick up first? What am I in the mood for? You know what? Probably This Wound Full of Fish. I'm in the mood for a litfic. I haven't read a good litfic in a while, so maybe that one first. Okay, I thought I was taping. I wasn't taping. So I'm going to run through things quickly. I got some things. I got this little capybara snow globe for Indy. Mecca had this thing on where if you bought a certain product, so I got this Jizu lip oil, you got to do a claw machine and it grabbed a little cracker, and inside the cracker was this mascara and then this lip plumping oil, which I will not be keeping because I don't like lip plumpers. So I did that. I got some Lush bath bombs for my mum and Indy as well, and that was it. I also, after filming, found out that, remember in the beginning when I told you guys that I was putting recs in here before checking that my library actually had them? Well, that has struck again. So I think it was called This Wound is Full of Fish. My library doesn't have that in its catalogue, so I can't read it. So I did pull another strip thing out of the jar, which obviously now you've missed, but it was The Bloodstones by Tori Tekken, which was recommended by Monty Adkins, a YouTuber. So that will be replacing the other book, which I cannot read. The library doesn't have it. But I think that's everything I updated you on. I don't remember now, but I'll see you once I've read some books. Good morning, guys. So I have read Smoke Gets in Your Eyes. And okay, how do I say this? So It's about a young 20-something woman who decides to end up working in a mortuary, funeral service, parlor, whatever you call it. The issues that I had was that the tone and the writing and the attempts at humor just came across, one second, sorry, came across as disrespectful and tone deaf and hypocritical. I don't know. I did not vibe with it. It made me feel not uncomfortable, but I didn't resonate with her personality, I guess, and how she was portraying such a serious topic. Like, these are people's loved ones, the dead bodies, and just the way that she was talking about them and cracking jokes, I just felt wasn't appropriate. And yeah, it's just complete disconnect, I guess, maybe personality wise with me and this person. But I would consider myself as someone that does have a dark sense of humor. But yeah, I just didn't like it. I didn't like the way she structured to the book, interspersing it with the pop culture and the bit more memoir-ish aspects alongside the more factual information about funerary protocols and processes. There was like this one chapter that had an Asian family who were mourning their deceased loved one, and she believed that they'd paid mourners to work the crowd up into a frenzy, and just that her tone and the way she wrote about things felt very judgy. If she didn't agree with a certain practice or thing, you could feel it coming from her, what she thought was better in her opinion. So yeah, I guess maybe I'd want someone who's a bit more aware and culturally respectful of other ways of grieving and mourning and preparing the dead. Maybe a bit more neutral, I don't know, but this just did not work for me at all, so I didn't really enjoy it, unfortunately. So I think, what am I going on to? I do have to get some from the library that haven't come in. I've got Henry and June ebook. I want the physical book, but the physical book is not due back for another 2 weeks, so yeah, it is what it is. I'm going with the ebook with that, and Bloodstones is also ebook. And what was the last book that I think I have to pick it up? Oh, Youth Juice. So yes, I do have to go and get the physical copy of Youth Juice because I only have physical copies. So that's on the agenda for today. Library quick visit to grab Youth Juice, but I think I'm going to go on with Henry and June and read about this throuple situation, which is so out of my wheelhouse. Okay, like a married couple inviting in a third. I just, I guess, see how it goes. But besides that, nothing else really on the agenda today besides some therapy, good old therapy, and library. And then that's it. And then I will touch base with you. You'll see me next once I have finished something. Oh, but I didn't want to mention that I know that there are wildfires currently in LA, and as an Australian, unfortunately, we are well acquainted with the devastation and destruction that fires wreak. It's fire season for us, but thankfully we haven't been horribly hit at this point in time like California has been. I just wanted to mention that because it's been on my mind. I've been thinking about it. I can't go to bed at night. I'm just thinking about fires that are happening halfway across the world, and the people and the animals that they are affecting. But if you are there, I hope you're safe. I hope you're well. And I hope you're able to get through it. Hello, my darlings, I'm back. Excuse my voice. I am very, very worn out, and I'll let you know why in a moment. But before I go on to my reviews, I am doing some updates. The first of which is that I am no longer doing star reviews on my vlogs. I will only be rating things on the reading apps if they are 5 stars. Otherwise, I will just be keeping my star ratings on my own spreadsheets for quantitative data purposes, because I feel like star ratings are just purely subjective. It's my personal enjoyment level of the book, pretty much. The reviews are what tells you about the plot and the characters and the pacing and the writing and the themes within it, and that's how you can get a good idea of whether or not that book is something you want to pick up. And I don't want people writing off books just because I rated it a 2-star when it might be a book they actually enjoy based on everything else I've said about it. That was positive and constructive. So yeah, I'm just not going to be doing the star rating reviews on here, except if it's a 5-star. Besides that, in regards to reading recs, I'm not going to do a specific vlog for them. I just want to be able to pull a recommendation out of a jar whenever I feel like it. And so they'll just become part of my mood reading vlog instead. The reason that I am quite exhausted and my voice is strained, I had my yearly psilocybin trip for my mental health. I'm actually doing a video on that on my other channel. And there was that coupled with the fact I think I might be getting ill. I think I'm fighting something off. My Oura ring is telling me that they think I'm getting sick. So that could also be the case. It was perhaps a double whammy. Whammy! But that's everything. So let me tell you about the rest of the books I read for this reading vlog. So the next book I picked up was Henry and June by Anais Nin. This is an orgy of infidelity. These are meant to be based on Anais's personal journals. I must say that if you're writing your journals this way, it's because you want someone to read them. But Anais is addicted to passion. She desires worship and intensity from her various lovers, and her attention and amorous affections change on a whim. And I think that she really does get a kick out of being desired and ensuring that the men who want her never really have her, including her cousin, her husband, her therapist, her married man lover. Anais gets around, let me just tell you that, and neither her marriage nor other men's marriages stop her from her romantic trysts. I found that Anais was a little bit self-congratulatory. She was kind of stoking her own ego a little bit in her exclamations of just how much people adore her and idolize her. The writing is dripping in romantic fervor. I'm just going to give you a glimpse of it with her first impression of Henry, which is Henry Miller, and Henry's wife June. When he first stepped out of the car and walked towards the door where I stood waiting, I saw a man I liked. In his writing, he is flamboyant, virile, animal, magnificent. He's a man whom life makes drunk, I thought. He is like me. And June. As she came towards me from the darkness of my garden into the light of the doorway, I saw for the first time the most beautiful woman on earth. Years ago, when I tried to imagine a true beauty, I had created an image in my mind of just that woman. Her beauty drowned me. As I sat in front of her, I felt that I would do anything mad for her, anything she asked of me. Henry faded. She was colour, brilliance, strangeness. The writing is delicious. However, the multiple infidelities left a sour taste in my mouth. And I think no matter how open you are with your trysts, that I think there is always someone who is being hurt. And despite her protestations of love for Jane, there was very little time that she actually spent physically with Jane. And I feel that Anais, more than her love for her, resented her for the piece of Henry that Jane held of his love. I would say, read this if you love messy, melodramatic machinations about mad polyamorous love. That was Henry and June by Anais. The next book I picked up was Youth Juice by E.K. Sethu. This is like Goop 2.0. I will begin by telling you that it has a lovely illustration in the beginning of the Greek goddess Hebe, or as Greeks would probably pronounce it, Ivi. And this is a femme-centric cult-like worship of the Fountain of Youth. You have a woman named Sophia, and she goes to work for this beauty icon who has a skincare company and is testing the current product Youth Juice on Sophia. Sophia has gnarled hands because she bites them. I would say beware of the severe hangnail horror in this. And lo and behold, the Youth Juice completely heals her hands. And you kind of learn that Elizabeth Bathory allegedly might have been onto something regarding the elixir of youth. This reads like a day in the life of that girl, but make it Dorian Gray style. In it, questions of morality arise regarding the price you would be willing to pay for the beauty of youth. It was easy to read. The writing style is very accessible. I would say the one part that I felt could have been improved was that there were flashbacks to her life as a teenage girl, showcasing her friendship with another girl, and I felt there were too many of those and it dragged pacing. We didn't need to see so much of this time of Sophie's youth and girlhood and friendship to convey the meaning that it needed to. That could definitely have been edited down. I read a lot in the comments that another book, Natural Beauty, also explores this subject matter and themes well, so I will be picking that up, surprisingly. I'm into the cult of the violent thirst for timelessness, I guess youth, even though I am very pro aging and wrinkles and things of that nature. I don't have that desire to stay frozen in time physically. Do I use moisturizer and exfoliate my face and things? Yeah, but going to more, I guess, invasive methods is not something that appeals to me whatsoever, just for the sake of having less wrinkles. Some of the people I loved most in this world had very wrinkly faces and I loved every wrinkle on them. So that's just how I personally feel regarding the beauty industry in terms of preserving youthfulness. But then again, I find older women very, very sexy. So like, I find Monica Bellucci just as sexy now as when she was in her 20s. Yeah, absolute goddess. But I would say read this. If you're a Sephora skincare girly who ain't afraid of blood. The last book that I was reading for this reading vlog was Bloodstones by Tori Tekken. Excuse me, I think I'm going to sneeze. This is an Asian-inspired fantasy with very solid world building. You have 3 POVs, and a main theme in this book is those who were dishonored will have their names forgotten. It was heavy on the politics and the religion and turning stolen boys into weapons. For me, the writing style was a bit dry with a lot of run-on sentences, and I just wasn't attached to the characters. So I was halfway through this book before I did my psilocybin trip, and when I came out of it, I thought, Chanel, you don't have to finish it. I have always wanted to read the recommended books all the way in full because someone who really enjoyed this book recommended it to me. But I came to the realization that I can also revel in a friend's joy of something without personally experiencing the thing that brought them joy. So in this case, Monty, I'm very, very happy that this book did something to you. It spoke to you, it drew you in, it entertained you. That is wonderful. Thank you for recommending it to me. But this is one of those stories that is yours, and as much as I wish I could have shared in your elation in it, I just didn't. It's just one of those things where, yeah, not every book speaks to everybody the same way. And this book and I, we're not meant to be. We weren't compatible. So before I finish, I'll once again tell you all the books I read in this reading vlog in least personal enjoyment to most personal enjoyment. So there was The Bloodstones, Legends of the Bruhai by Tori Tekken, Smoke Gets in Your Eyes and Other Lessons from the Crematory by Caitlin Doughty, Henry and June, The Unexpurgated Diary of Anais Nin by Anais Nin, and Youth Juice by E.K. Sathu. So those were all of the books that I read for this reading vlog. Until next time, stay well, Star Child.